Welcome back to the W.E.S Podcast. It is nearly the end of March. We are in testing week in the gym this week. Today is Friday, and it's been a great week in the gym. Now, I know this is not your typical podcast setup. I'm literally sitting on the exercise bike, but I know for me, I can overthink the setup, and I don't have like a microphone and headphones, and I didn't even bring my adaptable microphone today. So it's about just getting it done for me today. Well, not just getting it done, that sounds wrong in that I don't care what I'm going to say, but I actually really enjoy this process, but I put it off because I make it seem so big in my head. And like I said before, when I've been running, I tend to have a lot of thoughts running in my head, but also clear-minded, and I'm just probably have a little bit more confidence in myself to come here and sit in front of the camera and talk. So this is what you get today. This is today's episode. I have just been on a run, one of 3 runs that I am committing to at the moment for my marathon training. Wasn't really planning to do it today. I was sitting at my desk and kind of really not feeling it, just like in a real funk mentally, and I just thought the best thing I can do is probably something physical. I know what works for me, and so I have just done 13 Ks and it felt so good. It's really lightly raining. I don't mind running in the rain. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more heavy rain. I used to say, and I would often read, I guess, in the way that we see training, that there is no magic pill as such, to get you fitter and to get you stronger. But as I was running today, I think the magic pill is doing the training. Seriously, my brain after a run, particularly running for me, or maybe a conditioning session like our Tuesday sessions, my brain just gets cleared of all its fog, and I just feel so much better for it. And also when I'm running, I get into this bit of this meditative state, and I just become very appreciative and grateful, and just you can feel how positive it is. Now look, not all my runs are this enjoyable, and this is a little bit of a side note, that when those runs are hard, you are struggling, it kind of makes them worth it when you have a run that is really good and you smash it out. So today I am probably meandering really in the things that I want to talk about, because a lot really comes to me when I'm running. I think about training, I think about the things that we value here at WES Strength, and what I want to share with those who don't train with us, and whether it's that they're training with us in the gym, or they hear about us outside the gym, or read an article that we've written and it prompts them to go train somewhere and pick up strength training, or to start a running journey. First thing I want to talk about is our testing week, and it's been a great week, and this is going to lead to a bit of a concept on getting started with strength training. So it's strength cycle 1, and this is week 11. It's been an 11-week program, and testing week kicked off on Monday. So we've worked through deadlift, shoulder press, bench press, max rep push-up, max rep pull-ups, an aerobic capacity test yesterday, and then today we've had our back squat and weighted chin-up. I always think it's a really good week in the gym, and I think it's probably safe to say that there's been a lot of positives this week, and people are seeing the strength numbers improve, which is always great to see. And I think as an individual, when you see that increase, there's definitely a bit of satisfaction that the consistency in your training that you've been putting in has paid off, and your focus when you come to training. So congratulations to all the members who have come through the gym this week and seen those numbers increase. But also congratulations if you have come in and you didn't see your numbers change. That's okay. It doesn't always result in a PB, and what it can do is highlight any areas in your technique that we can work on going into the next strength cycle. So still record your numbers, record where you got to, how it felt, and then chat to the coach at the time, what was my technique like, how can I improve it, and we can take that in going into strength cycle 2. So after this week, you will see 2 weeks of general programming, a really nice little mix up in the gym. We just kind of brush out the cobwebs of our structured strength training, and then we will start our strength cycle 2. One thing we really like to do at WES Strength is share the benefits of strength training with everyone. Those who are new to strength training, maybe have done some strength training at home or, 15 years ago, or have been more in a different, maybe they've been into sport or running and they're wanting something to complement their training. And walking through a gym, and I have said this before, walking through those gym doors, it can be intimidating if you haven't been into a gym before. And I think, you have that initial idea of, I want to start strength training, or you've heard, maybe you're, a female and you've heard that strength training is really, really beneficial as you maybe over 35, 40 and beyond, and you kind of don't know where to start, but you know that probably a gym is where it's going to be, but you haven't done group training before. If you've recently taken the step into coming into our gym, thank you for checking us out and trialing with us. And if you are not quite there yet, but you are thinking, you're like looking for gyms and you're ready to take that step, you appreciate and are aware that it can be quite a challenge or a little bit daunting to step through our doors, and we seek to make it as welcoming an environment as we can, and to bring you into the strength training process in a really safe and comfortable environment. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was running, and I recently wrote an article for our blog on our WES Strength website, a 2-part series about running and starting a running training program or training journey. And we do get a lot of people come through the doors who have either ran in the past, would like to build up to it and get back to running, or who've never done running before but are interested in giving it a try. And in the article, I just outlined what I think are some good ways to get started with a running program, and the things that probably are important to think about, and some of the things to not even worry about when you're running. I think one of the biggest ones is that if you have not run for a very long time, or you have never run, is to just find a baseline. Say to yourself, you're either going to do 20 minutes or 30 minutes of walking, running type split. So you might run for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes, or you might find you can run for 3 minutes, walk for 90 seconds. You'll know where you're at. It's not about pushing yourself for that 20 or 30 minutes to like a red line, because that's not going to benefit you. You're probably going to finish the run and think running is awful and I never want to do that again. So you find a baseline first. If you can, record it, whether that's through a watch, various apps available on phones to record just a distance, just to give you a distance to start with. And then pacing, don't even worry about pacing to begin with. The other tip I have is not to get caught up in what other people are doing. So not worrying about whether you've done 5Ks in 30 minutes or 5Ks in 25 minutes or 5Ks in 20 minutes. Just where is your level at? Because we don't know how long the person who runs past us has been training for. They could be running for 10 years and they've done 5 marathons or 5 half marathons, or they do smash out 10Ks really fast on, every weekend. We just don't know. And so, for example, the other day, I think it was last week, I was doing my interval session and it was 5 by 1200 meters. Now I was trying to run 5-minute Ks, I think, or 450 Ks, and it feels fast to me. That's my fast. And I'm, down at South Bank running really fast, and then these two people cruise past me. They don't look like they're sprinting, because you can just tell how relaxed their body is. And they just cruise past me, and you just have to go, that's okay. This is where I'm at today. This is my fast, and this is my process and my journey. Doesn't matter where anyone else is. I think if you know why you're running, is it because you want to do a marathon one day, or you want to just get to 5K or 10K, or running is a really important part of your week for exercise, mental health training. That really changes, I think, in terms of what's going on around you. The other tip I have and think about a lot is how we can reduce the risk of injuries. Getting running injuries is very common. You've probably heard people talk about shin splints, pain through their feet, knees, hips, all the things. We can't say that we're never going to get a running injury, but we can do some things to reduce that risk. And I think one in particular for those starting out is how you build your load and the volume of running and over at what time period. So if you go from I've never run before, 3-4 weeks later I'm doing 3-4 runs a week, that's probably quite a lot for your muscles and joints to take in that time period. So we have to think about how prepared and how strong, not muscular, size, but like joints, ligaments, and muscles, but not in terms of size. You don't have to be, lifting 150 kilo deadlifts, but we need to prepare the body so that it can take this volume of running. It's very repetitive. Other tip I talked about in the part 1 article was to track your progress. So whether that's through the app or through a app, it's in a book, it's on your notes in a phone, just either time and or distance. You can write down how it felt. I think that helps you to look back and see where you started and to see how you're improving. Some weeks, sometimes the runs feel harder. And then some weeks they feel great and you're just in this real flow state and you're like, wow, I'm on fire, I'm a runner, I can do this, I could do a marathon. I think it really helps with your progress, and then it helps with your motivation. Motivation isn't always there to train or exercise or go for a run. It's just not. But sometimes if we have this book or the notes of like last week I did this far and I want to do 5 minutes more, I want to try and do 500 meters more, that can be your reason to just put on those shoes and keep the commitment to your running schedule. So I like talking about this because we have a run club at Western Strength. Since last year, I've gotten a little bit more into my running. And when I think back though, when in my early 20s, I was into running, but I didn't record. I just ran, and I kind of got over it, and I didn't really stick at it. But it's very different with the approach that I have now, and I'm really enjoying most of it. But we are seeing in the run club, we've seen a few members come and join us who have run in the past and they're just getting back. And last week, shout out to Lasny, who did, I think, one of her first 6Ks in a very, very long time. And alongside Joel, just, keeping a really nice steady pace, and time was not a factor. It was just about, going that little bit further. So it's really cool to see the progress and just to be working on the pace and the baseline that they're at. I think there are probably 3 things that were rolling around in my brain. Running, how to get started, our testing cycle, and shout out to those who are coming into the gym and have never trained strength training or anything like this before and taking that step. We know it's big and we are here to support you, and if it's not with us, we hope that maybe if you're listening or reading to some of our stuff that it's somewhere else, and then it does help maybe inspire or encourage you to take that step somewhere. And the other one I think that's been, for some reason this week, a lot on my mind is strength training for mental health. And that's just something that I've really personally tapped into this week. So well done on a great first cycle of the year. We wrap it up tomorrow with our team challenge. Look forward to those of you who are going to join us, and look forward to strength cycle 2. So get those numbers in beyond the whiteboard so we have a good baseline to work our next percentages off. And if you are either looking to get started with strength training or running, send me an email, give us a call. We are here to help, and we love supporting wherever you are at on your strength training journey or running journey or fitness journey. And thanks for listening to this episode of the Western Strength Podcast. Stay tuned for our next one in April.